Donald Trump is back in the White House, and it seems Greenland is back on his mind. The president's renewed interest in acquiring the world's largest island has sent ripples across the globe, sparking a mix of amusement, bewilderment, and concern. Trump, never one to shy away from bold pronouncements, has once again set his sights on a seemingly outlandish goal. Trump's fascination with Greenland first surfaced in 2019 during his first term. Back then, his suggestion of purchasing the island was met with swift and decisive rejection from Denmark, which governs Greenland. The Danish Prime Minister dismissed the idea as absurd, leading to a diplomatic spat and the cancellation of a planned state visit by President Trump to Denmark. Fast forward to 2025, and the president has reignited the controversy. Reports of his revived interest in acquiring Greenland began circulating in December 2024, shortly after his re-election victory. Trump's aides initially downplayed the reports as mere speculation, but a flurry of recent activity suggests otherwise. The appointment of Ken Howery, a close confidant of Trump and former ambassador to Sweden, as ambassador to Denmark has further fueled speculation. Howery, known for his deal-making prowess and close ties to the Trump family, is seen as a key figure in any potential negotiations with Denmark over Greenland. Trump's desire to acquire Greenland might seem like a recent whim, but the United States has a long and storied history of interest in the Arctic island. As early as 1867, under President Andrew Johnson, the U.S. explored the possibility of purchasing Greenland and Iceland from Denmark. The strategic importance of Greenland became even more apparent during World War II. With Denmark under Nazi occupation, the United States assumed responsibility for Greenland's defense, establishing military bases and weather stations on the island. After the war, President Harry Truman offered Denmark $100 million for Greenland, recognizing its strategic value in the emerging Cold War. However, Denmark, despite its economic woes, refused to part with the island. The Cold War saw Greenland become a focal point of geopolitical rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union. The U.S. military presence in Greenland expanded, with the establishment of the Thule Air Base, a key installation for missile defense and surveillance of Soviet activities in the Arctic. Despite the end of the Cold War, Greenland's strategic importance has not diminished. In fact, with the growing impact of climate change and the increasing accessibility of the Arctic region, Greenland's value has only grown in recent years. Greenland's allure lies in its unique geographical location and its vast, untapped resources. Situated between the North Atlantic and Arctic Oceans, Greenland sits astride strategically important sea lanes, including the Northwest Passage and the Greenland-Iceland United Kingdom (GIUK) gap. The Northwest Passage, a sea route through the Arctic Ocean, offers a potentially shorter shipping route between Asia and Europe, reducing transit times and transportation costs. As climate change melts Arctic ice, the Northwest Passage is becoming increasingly navigable, opening up new possibilities for trade and commerce. The GIUK Gap, a strategically important choke point, lies between Greenland, Iceland, and the United Kingdom. This narrow stretch of water is a vital maritime route for NATO forces and serves as a barrier between Russian naval forces in the Arctic and the North Atlantic. Greenland's location also makes it an ideal vantage point for monitoring Russian military activities in the Arctic. The U.S. military has long recognized Greenland's strategic significance, using the island as a base for surveillance and missile defense systems. Beyond its strategic location, Greenland holds immense economic potential, with vast reserves of natural resources lying beneath its icy surface. The island is estimated to hold significant deposits of oil, natural gas, iron ore, uranium, and rare earth elements. Rare earth elements, a group of 17 metallic elements, are essential components in a wide range of modern technologies, including smartphones, electric vehicles, wind turbines, and military equipment. China currently dominates the global rare earth market, controlling an estimated 80% of production. Greenland's rare earth reserves, estimated to be among the largest in the world, could reduce Western reliance on Chinese supplies, enhancing energy security and bolstering the development of green technologies. Furthermore, the melting of Greenland's ice sheet due to climate change is making its resources more accessible. As the ice recedes, new shipping routes are opening up and mining operations are becoming increasingly feasible. Section 5. Shifting Tides. Climate change and the new Arctic frontier. Climate change, while posing significant environmental challenges, is also transforming the geopolitical landscape of the Arctic. The melting of Arctic ice is opening up new shipping routes, expanding access to natural resources, and creating new opportunities for economic development. The Arctic region is warming at twice the rate of the global average, leading to a dramatic reduction in sea ice coverage. This melting ice is opening up the Northern Sea Route, a shipping route along Russia's Arctic coastline, and the Northwest Passage, potentially revolutionizing global trade. The Arctic's untapped resources, including oil, gas, minerals, and fish stocks, are also becoming more accessible. This newfound wealth has sparked a scramble for influence in the region, with Arctic nations and global powers vying for control and access. The United States, under President Trump, has taken a keen interest in the Arctic, seeking to assert its presence and counter growing Russian and Chinese influence. Trump's renewed push for Greenland's acquisition can be seen within this context as a strategic move to secure American interests in the rapidly changing Arctic. Section 6. Greenland's Dilemma. Balancing independence and economic realities. Greenland, for its part, is caught in a delicate balancing act. The island's population of 56,000, predominantly Inuit, harbors a strong desire for independence from Denmark. Greenland gained self-rule in 2009, but Denmark still retains control over foreign affairs, defense, and currency. Greenland's economy is heavily reliant on Danish subsidies, which account for around 60% of its annual budget. However, the island's desire for independence is pushing it to seek economic diversification, primarily through the development of its natural resources. The prospect of increased mining and resource extraction has divided Greenland's population. Some see it as a path to economic independence and prosperity, while others fear the environmental impact and potential loss of cultural identity. The United States' interest in Greenland has added another layer of complexity to the situation. While some Greenlanders welcome the economic opportunities that closer ties with the U.S. might bring, others are wary of becoming pawns in a geopolitical game between superpowers. Section 7. Echoes of the Past. Trump's unconventional approach to diplomacy. Trump's renewed pursuit of Greenland has been met with a mixture of skepticism, amusement, and concern, both domestically and internationally. Critics have denounced the move as a throwback to a bygone era of colonialism, accusing Trump of treating Greenland as a piece of real estate rather than a nation with its own people and aspirations. Trump's approach to diplomacy has often been characterized as unorthodox, relying on personal relationships, transactional deals, and a disregard for traditional diplomatic protocols. His handling of the Greenland issue has followed a similar pattern, eschewing diplomatic channels in favor of public pronouncements and Twitter diplomacy. In 2019, Trump's abrupt cancellation of his state visit to Denmark after the Danish Prime Minister dismissed his Greenland proposal as absurd was widely seen as a diplomatic faux pas. His decision to revive the issue, despite Greenland's repeated rejections, suggests a lack of understanding of the complexities involved and a disregard for the sensitivities of the parties involved. Section 8. A bridge too far? Assessing the likelihood of a Greenland acquisition. Despite Trump's apparent determination, the likelihood of the United States actually acquiring Greenland remains exceedingly slim. Denmark has repeatedly stated that Greenland is not for sale, and the island's population, while divided on the issue of independence, is unlikely to support a transfer of sovereignty to the United States. Greenland's Prime Minister Mute Egede has firmly rejected Trump's overtures, stating that Greenland is not for sale and cannot be sold. But Greenland is open for business and cooperation with other countries, including the United States. The international community is also likely to frown upon any attempt by the United States to acquire Greenland, viewing it as a violation of international law and a throwback to a bygone era of colonialism. Furthermore, the logistical and financial challenges of incorporating Greenland into the United States would be enormous. Greenland is a vast and sparsely populated island with a unique culture and language. Integrating its infrastructure, economy, and governance into the United States would be a daunting and costly undertaking. Section 9. Conclusion. The future of Greenland in an era of geopolitical shifts. While the prospect of the United States acquiring Greenland seems far-fetched, Trump's renewed interest in the island highlights the growing strategic importance of the Arctic region. As climate change reshapes the Arctic, melting ice and opening up new shipping routes and access to resources, the region is becoming a focal point of geopolitical competition. The United States, Russia, China, and other Arctic nations are all vying for influence in the region, seeking to secure access to resources, control strategic sea lanes, and project military power. Greenland, with its strategic location, vast resources, and growing desire for independence, finds itself at the center of this geopolitical chess game. The island's future is likely to be shaped by its ability to navigate the competing interests of global powers while safeguarding its own autonomy and cultural identity. Whether Greenland remains a part of Denmark, gains full independence, or forges closer ties with other nations, its strategic importance in the 21st century is undeniable. The island's fate will have profound implications for the future of the Arctic and the balance of power in a rapidly changing world.